This tutorial covers entry of registered attendees as they provide you with their registration. As we had mentioned in an earlier tutorial, you should, near the time of your event, produce the report of people by name, which will be an alpha sequence by last name, and at that point assign the bidder numbers so that bidder numbers and last names are pretty much together, and then you can go back into your people table and enter those bidder numbers. So we are now on the people form, which you've seen before from entering information about a donor, and here we have this person whose last name is Jones and his first name is Phil, and his companion's last name is also Jones and her name is Mary. You may of course have a couple who are not married who have different last names. That's perfectly all right. For your display name, we'll put in Phil and Mary Jones, and remember that this is the name that's going to show up on the invoice, and the Joneses live at 345 North 1st Street, and they're in Tacoma, Washington, and it's 98401 or whatever the zip is. If you have the telephone number and email address for Phil and Mary Jones, you can put that in at this time. If you don't, remember that you can highlight this information on the people by name report so that it can be collected when they come to check in, and that information can be put in later on, even after the event, but before you've created the reports for the Public Disclosure Commission. Phil and Mary are of course bidders, so we'll put a Y in here. They are not donors, so we'll leave that empty and the donor number empty. And Phil and Mary have asked for 2 tickets, and they have decided to pay by credit card. So we've tabbed into the tickets paid field. You can click on one of the entries in here with your mouse, or you can simply scroll down or scroll up as you need using your up and down arrow keys and hit the space bar to select the method of payment. And then from there we can tab over, and Phil is an accountant and he's employed by XYZ company, and they are in Tacoma and in Washington. And that's all it takes to enter your donor, or excuse me, your bidder. And remember that near your event you'll go back in and determine what the bidder numbers should be and go back to the people table and enter those bidder numbers, and you're all done. That concludes this tutorial.